Hey everybody, this is Ben with Empire's Comics Vault. We are talking Free Comic Book Day Festival 2017 all day today. We've interviewed quite a few people, and we are on to somebody who I'm extremely happy to introduce to the event this year because he has never done an event with us. Gregory Miller, welcome to our Google Hangout.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You have actually sold your books in the shop. We've had you down on special days where you've got a new release and you're trying to get to a new audience. But this is the first time you get to experience the full Free Comic Book Day Festival that we do. And for everybody who know, there are food trucks. We got Wandering Boba coming down. We've got the 501st Stormtrooper Legion. We have Supreme Pro Wrestling setting up a ring for entertainment in the parking lot, and of course all the creatives from around town, writers, artists, painters, sculptors, just a little bit of everything. So, Sean, we are extremely happy to have you finally come down to Free Comic Book Day. And in fact, I feel a little embarrassed that we haven't had you before because I've known you for a while. Why don't we start with
scheduling? Didn't work out, sometimes.
That's true. That is true. And well, actually, okay, let's start at the beginning here. You've been doing comic books for a while. You've been creating your own books. Why don't you tell us how you used it and how you into this published gig?
Yeah, I've been doing it for, I want to say, 6 years now, and it's kind of funny. I started out with the book How to Draw the Marvel Way, which I think a lot of young artists probably start out with. And comic books have always been a love of mine, superheroes, stuff like that. So I thought, I'm going to start doing comic books because I was playing in bands and I was pursuing music pretty heavily, but I got married and then started having kids. So the the rock and roll lifestyle doesn't really fit with being a family man. So yeah, I just kind of started pursuing comics and then self-publishing and pitching to people. I got to be part of a couple cool pitches. One of them was to resurrect Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, and it was done in like an Adventure Time style. Unfortunately, it never got past editorial. It made it pretty far, but that was about as far as I had gotten. And then right now I'm working on Kid Sherlock, which I'm sure we'll probably talk about a little bit.
We'll definitely talk about that. In fact, I think you were involved in a pitch project because one of the things that I think a lot of people have a hard time with when they're in your situation and when they're doing all the creative work themselves, have a life on the side, is getting to that next level and doing the pitch, which is obviously paid off for you because you're working over there at Action Labs now. But again,
Yeah.
we're getting ahead of ourselves. What was the first comic work that you did?
The first comic work was on a book that I created, a character that I created called The Original. And it was about basically a golden age or a silver age superhero who is now aged. He's been in hiding, and you kind of figure out what happened, why he's been in hiding. He's kind of like a Superman type character. But you have to understand, when I started out, I didn't really know how to write or how to draw for that matter.
There's only one way to do it, is get in and go.
Yeah, so I'm kind of working backwards and fleshing out his backstory, and then I will progress to the end. So that's been a character that's near and dear to me, just because he's my own creation, and I kind of want to do it right. So I've been working on it for a long time.
So how many issues do we have available of that now?
Well, I've sold out of most of the printings that I have. This is the latest one. This is the original beginnings, and I'll have this with me at Free Comic Book Day. And this is basically the origin story. So okay. This is, I think I might have a few copies of the story that comes after that one, but pretty much that's about it for right now.
Okay, well, for everybody here in Sacramento or anybody who's going to be here at Free Comic Book Day, he's sold out, but I do believe I have a couple of copies left on the shelf if you want to get your hands on them so you can check out what the original is all about. Sure. Now, the newest one you said is an origin.
Yeah.
And what's coming next for him? I assume you're continuing.
Yeah, for sure. I just pitched the original as an original graphic novel. I don't know if I should say or not because it's still pretty early. But so this issue that I showed you, and then there's a issue that you probably still have on your shelves. Those will be together. And then I don't know if you can see behind me, but I've got some art that I've been working on for the final issue. So it'll be 3 issues total collected into a graphic novel format. So if you missed out on some of the other ones, don't worry, they'll be out again.
Perfect. Okay, well, good. And again, you held it back, but evidently you're pitching it again, which you seem to be very good at,
Yeah.
which leads us into the Action Labs, because you are now working with the guys at Action Labs who have a prominent spot in the previews catalog. I mean, they've got a great spread with a lot of attention, and now you're adding your name to that list. So why don't you tell us about that?
I owe pretty much everything to Mike Millerick, who you know from Stockton Con. He is actually the one that pitched it for me.
Okay, well, that is
it's really funny. In a nutshell, he was at a convention in Sacramento, and Dave from Action Lab, he's now the president, I believe. He was there, and Mike was like, "Hey, check out this thing that my buddy Sean is working on," and we literally only had 1 page drawn, and that was it.
And that was all it took. He saw it. He liked what he saw. Wow, that's pretty impressive. And it's done. It is in previews, correct?
Yeah. I have a previous catalog around here somewhere, but it's on page 256, maybe. I could be wrong.
256. So yeah, if you guys will come into the shop, I can show you the previews catalog. If you're interested in adding it to your saver, getting the first issue to check it out, we will definitely be ordering it. We order Action Labs, of course, so we will most definitely be getting your books. Now, is this a mini series or is this an ongoing?
Well, the first arc is 4 issues long, but we have probably enough material for a second, maybe even a third volume. So I think what they want to do is kind of see how the first arc does. And then if it does well, then we'll get to do a second volume. We've also got a script for a free comic book day issue. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but there's plenty of stuff there.
Okay, now then is this going to be your focus? You said you're going to do that next issue of the original. Are you going to wrap that up for the moment and focus on this? Or are you going to try and juggle both while you're doing your normal day-to-day life?
Well, the nice thing is that my day job involves doing art, so I get to draw all day. And yeah, it's taken a long time to get there, but I'm very fortunate, very fortunate to do that. But after drawing 4 issues of Kid Sherlock back to back, I don't want to sound arrogant, but it is kind of like riding a bike when it comes to those characters, because you just draw them so much that I don't have to think about it too much. So I can kind of go back and forth between the original and Kid Sherlock. And so, it's not too hard, but we'll see. I haven't tried to do it like full blown yet.
Okay, well, I'm looking behind you. I like that you have all that artwork. Now, I assume that all the artwork that I'm looking at is stuff from your books.
Yeah, this is actually, I got to do a variant cover for another Action Lab creator.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's Vito Del Sante's Stray. And I don't know if you can tell, but I tried to do that Eisner thing where you spell out his name with the buildings. So it's very, very subtle.
It's extremely subtle. In fact, I didn't notice that until you pointed it out. That is kind of neat.
Yeah, I think the coloring will probably help it pop. But up here, I've got an anthology I've been working on for a long time. I want to do it like a digest size, kind of like the Parker books, like the Darwin Cook Parker series.
Yeah, the Darwin Cook stuff.
But
would that be all you, or would that be?
Yeah,
are you going to?
That would be. That's one that I've been doing entirely by myself. The lettering, coloring, drawing. it's kind of a matter of pride. Like I want to see if I can do it. But
I can understand that, and it's a lot of work to do absolutely everything, especially when you've got so many projects that you're juggling.
it is, yeah. This thing, it's it's got screen tone on it, so all the grays are literally cut out by hand and applied to the page. So it's not the most practical way of shading, but it's therapeutic.
You should go completely old style, glue your letters on, and
Oh my God, I don't think I could do it.
so how much of your work is done on the computer then? Because it looks like you do a lot of it the old-fashioned way. I mean, obviously the lettering is going to be done on the computer, but what about anything else?
Yeah, I'm pretty traditional. For work, I do have to use the computer a lot, and I have a very simple drawing tablet. I don't have one of those big fancy ones. I think if I did, maybe I might, go over into digital art. But for me, the control, having a pen in your hand, you can't beat it. It's just, there's something about it. It's just really nice.
Yeah, no, I can understand that. It's probably, I mean, it allows you to get in that moment as opposed to just sitting over a computer hunched, working your mouse.
Right. There's, excuse me, there's benefits to both. Yeah, I don't know. I think part of it is just me being kind of afraid of going full digital because I'm not very computer savvy. So I like to be able to have a physical eraser in my hand.
Yeah, I from a personal and very selfish side, I prefer what you're doing because one of the things that is really kind of disappointing, and I understand it's a lot easier for a lot of people, it's quicker, but digital doesn't give us originals.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
there's no more pages out there. It's all on the computer. You can't, I don't know, it's just not as special. There's something that's been taken away from the medium.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that because when I finished Kid Sherlock, I had a big stack of pages, and there's something about holding that giant stack that just gives you such a sense of satisfaction. And I even went and weighed it on a scale.
What are you going to come up to?
It was like 9 pounds.
Oh, 9 pounds of pages to complete that.
Yeah.
And do you keep them all?
I have all of them but one, I believe. Yeah,
Okay.
I gave one to the writer.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's fair. At one page, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, if people want to buy them from me, that's totally cool. I'm up to that. I don't form like a big attachment to them, but there is something special about having your first professional book, all in one shot, one stack.
Nope, that's understandable. That is completely understandable. Congratulations. I think it's great. Action Labs is a great company. They are like I said, they're in every single previews, very prominently displayed. So I'm really hoping that we'll, you'll get some traction with this. And
Yeah.
Free Comic Book Day, May 6th, you can come down, hang out. Everybody come say hi to Sean, ask him about Sherlock, talk to him about original, and, get to know him. You're going to be here anyways, hanging out. And personally, even though all the other things I mentioned, the creatives that come to this thing are what really make Free Comic Book Day so special. They're what we built up from, and they will always be there, and they will always be the focus of every Free Comic Book Day. I mean, obviously, the 20,000 comic books are going to be a little something special, but we are very happy to have you down, sir. And if they, God forbid, they can't make it, you are actually at quite a few shows. I mean, you do the SAC Con, you do Grape City, you do Stockton Con. Anywhere else that they can find you?
I do Chico Con. That one's a little bit of a smaller show, but it's still pretty cool. I also do a local show here in Stockton throughout the summer. It's called Stock Market. So it's basically like a farmer's market for creatives, if that makes any sense. It's really cool.
It does. It's kind of neat. That I've never seen anything like that, especially something that's reoccurring like that outside of crafts.
Yeah, it's really neat. And I'm kind of like the only guy there that has comics and art and stuff like that, as far as like pop art or anything. But yeah, I mean, for Sherlock, we're going to be doing a lot of signings. So, Northern California, we're going to be around in a few shops, hopefully.
Okay, and where can they find you online? Where would you like to funnel them to?
Well, I think the most convenient place would be Sean, Sean, Gregory Miller .squarespace.com, and that has links to my Twitter, Instagram, store, everything you need.
Are you? This is somewhat on topic for people like me who are interested, and I'm sure there's more out there. How are you liking Squarespace?
I love it. It's again. Remember, I said I'm not computer savvy, so building the website was just super easy, and I've noticed once I had the website, my traffic for other things like Twitter and Instagram went up a bit. And it has a link to my big cartel store. So, I saw a little boost in sales as well. So far, it's been great.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. For everybody who doesn't know what it is, Squarespace is a you basically, like you said, you build your website, but it looks super simple. So if this man can do it,
I have no skills.
With family with no skills, you guys can too. And that's one of the reasons I think these kind of events are so important, because there's a lot of people, young and old, who have an idea, who want to get it out there. They don't know where to start. And it's nice to see people like you who have done this as a passion project, succeed. So we are, again, very excited to have you here, sir. Can't wait to see you on May 6th. You guys know where to find him. Excuse me, you know where to find him. And we will see you in a month or so, sir.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Well, great. Thank you, sir. There will be links coming up for everything you need to know about him. Check out our Facebook page for a lot more information on Free Comic Book Day Festival, as well as empirescomics.com. That will be updated soon. Everything. And thank you, Sean. Thank you, everybody. And you guys have a great night.
Thanks. Bye.